A new state law requires labels on the impact of the gas stove.
Specifically health impacts, because there's a lot of literature out there that using these things long term is not good for people's health. There's an industry group, though, that is suing on free speech grounds about this. They're not happy that these new notifications have to go on gas stoves for purchase, but a judge has now denied their temporary restraining order.
Yes.
Are we still following? I hope so. Joining us now is our legal analyst, Whitney Traylor. So let's go over, first of all, there's a new state law that mandated this on newly sold gas stoves.
Yes.
What is that law? What was the change so people understand?
So the new law says that there has to be a yellow sticker on gas stoves saying that, hey, this could cause some harm. It has to be in English and Spanish and have a QR code that actually takes them to the State Department of Health that talks about some of these risks. And so that was there was a plethora of new laws that went into effect in August. That was one of them for August 6th. And the home appliance manufacturers, the trade association, filed a temporary restraining order the day before it was supposed to go into effect, saying, hey, this is not set science. We disagree with what you're saying, and you're compelling us to say this. You're making us put this on here, and we disagree with it under the First Amendment.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly they're thinking, anybody that looks at this and says, what's the choice between gas or not? I'm saying no.
Right, yeah.
I feel for the people that just got one a few years back.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people. I just renovated a few years back, and I didn't know about this. And so it did give me pause to say, wait, is this dangerous? Is this safe to have it indoor? And they're arguing that, at least the state is saying, hey, this could cause cancer, it can cause respiratory issues, all these other things. And they want people to know about it. They're not necessarily saying don't buy it. They're just saying we want consumers to know.
So the new law passes, and then there's this lawsuit, and all this is happening at the same time. So sticker or not, what happens if you're a retailer and you're selling these things and you do or don't abide by this? Maybe it's in effect law, maybe not law.
Right. No, that's a great question. And essentially what it would be is a deceptive trade practice. So this is why they filed the lawsuit, because they said, look, if we don't comply with this, we could be hit with a deceptive trade practice, and that's a $20,000 per violation fine. And so there's
way more than a gas stove. Well, most gas stoves, some gas stoves are pricey.
Yeah, no, that's the argument. And they're saying, look, because the science isn't well settled, you're compelling us to say something we disagree with. And so they went into court saying, hey, judge, because lawsuits take a long time. It'll take a year or two before the whole lawsuit gets settled. And they said, well, if we have to wait for the lawsuit to get settled, we're going to be harmed in that time period. So that's why they filed for a preliminary injunction and a temporary restraining order to say, hey, while we're sorting it out, while the lawsuit goes forward, this law, we shouldn't have to comply with this. And the judge. So
that's where it stands right now. So it's kind of in this holding pattern. So if I were to go look at a gas stove right now, it's not going to have that label.
No, actually it should, because the judge actually denied the temporary restraining order. But I think part of the issue was the briefs were too long. So the trade association, their motion that they put in front of the court exceeded the court's length standards. So it was, I think, 52 pages. I looked at it today. And so, but the judge said, all right, I'm going to allow you to refile it. And he urged the state to not enforce this while this preliminary injunction gets sorted out. So I don't think they set a date, but I suspect within the next week or two, we're going to have it heard on the merits, and then the judge will actually decide if he's going to impose the temporary restraining order.
So to be clear, sticker still required, no punishment if it's not there at this time.
It's up to the state. He just urged them. There was no order, but yes, you're correct. The sticker can still go forward, and it's up to the state whether they enforce it. I suspect they won't enforce it. We have a week or two before we're going to actually have it settled, at least temporarily, because then the whole lawsuit will have to go forward. So I think the state will probably, it seems reasonable to say, all right, this is not settled. We're not going to enforce. We're not going to hit you with these fines until the court gives us a ruling.
Well, I think they've already been hit enough by what consumers are hearing, but we'll see what happens after this. So stay tuned, right? You'll let us know.
I'll let you know. I'll come back and see what happens.
Thank you, Whitney.
All right, sure.